Verfügung. Für die kontaktlose Ticketkontrolle benutzen Sie doch auch gerne unseren Komfortcheck-In.
So this is it. It's made by Berliner Kindle. Apparently a recreation of the original Berliner Weiss, but we shall see. Yeah, that's the Sauer. So this one has lactobacillus were put in half of the mash that converted to lactate. And it's the same stuff as you find in yogurt, sour cream, just that kind of sour. A smooth, kind of a smooth sour. Guten Morgen. It's another cloudy day. Right behind me is the Berlin Hauptbahnhof, main train station. As I said last night, Berlin's actually a much more modern city than I expected. We got these nice big glass-covered buildings. Way over there in the distance, we got a tower. And I'm heading toward the Bundestag, the famous Bundestag in Berlin, where Hitler was. So, there we have it. Pretty impressive building and just what history it had. It's kind of cold and the distances are a little further. So I'm not going to go on a Checkpoint Charlie today. I'm going to scrap it. I am going to go find the tour, though, the Brandenburg Gate, before I return. Dear, this is for Diane, my beautiful wife. I guess you remember being here back in college, huh? Does it look the same? Guess there's not much to look at. Okay, so there it is, the Brandenburg Gate. Looking at it from here for the first time. First of all, I didn't realize it had inner walls. You see from the side, you can't see through the columns. And then that statue on top, that copper statue of a horse and carriage, is much more massive than I expected. It's not as big as the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, I don't think. Arc de Triomphe is certainly taller, maybe not wider. We'll see. We'll see when we get to Paris. Anyway, I just think of this place here, the history of this place. How President Reagan gave his famous speech, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Remember that one? And then before that, Kennedy, Ich bin ein Berliner. Remember that speech? So America was so great then, and both presidents came here to make a stand for the good of Germany and for the good of the U.S., for the good of the world. And now look what we got. We're now in the front. You can see the gate looks completely empty and airy with no walls. So it's an optical illusion. Like the Champs-Élysées, there's a long boulevard that goes down to a statue far in the distance, another famous landmark. And interestingly enough, there's an evangelical German Christian group saying Deutschland wohin zurück zu Gott, which is a call to return to God. That's really cool. I would love to find a German Gemeinde or a German church. It would be a great way to learn the language and stuff, but it's probably not going to be here in Berlin, somewhere else. But I'm going to say thanks to these guys. Almost silent, so I'm going to go do that. Let's just go öffnet. Well, that was good. I spent a moment of silence in the room praying for Germany, and after all that we've done for them, praying for America, for redemption. And yeah, that just, who would have thought right in front of the Brandenburg Gate I would have run into a real Gemeinde. You know, German born-again Christians make up maybe 2% at the most of the population. And I just felt this guy Christian, who was the guy I approached. I could just feel immediately the spirit that he had within him. He spoke German, he looked German, but he was a Christian, and he's sitting out there evangelizing, not disrupting anything, you know, not interrupting people, but just, you know, just he's there to talk, he's there to witness. Wow, that's something else in a country as cold and atheistic as Germany. So he said he'd been to America, and he said in America he actually felt the presence of God, and he's aware of all of the crap that's going on right now, but he thinks he believes America is still a blessed country. And in response, I told him, well, it seems to be going downhill. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but to me, it's not blessed. And sometimes I wonder about moving here. But, you know, that's an individual decision based on prayer. And everybody's plan is different. His plan is different than my plan. Of course, with Diane, I can't make any decisions that would interfere with God's plan for her life as well. So it's just more than just about me. It's about us and what's best for us, what's best according to both of us after having prayed about it. I mean, my level of attention to German it's obviously through the roof. But as far as actually making real progress, substantial progress, it's not going to happen when I'm darting around from city to city. You really got to have friends. You got to have a fellowship. And so he asked me about myself. Hey, do you have a fellowship and a community? And I said, well, I said yes, but I didn't really try to explain that I think all the Baptists that I live around, the Southern Baptists, are phony. You know, they pretend to be this and there's something else. They're just not particularly spiritual anymore. I mean, I think they used to be a lot better, but they're just there's something about them that feels dead to me. And they seem to be very materialistic, just like they just seem to have folded into the values of the world, the society around them, especially around the Pine Mountain area. I'm telling you, some of the worst people I've met, you know, will just talk about God and prayer and all this kind of stuff, and there's this huge disconnect between the way people live and what they pretend to believe. But a guy like this guy is full on legit. And I mean, these guys over here, they're really sticking their neck out. So they're real, they're legit. So it's kind of a blessing meeting him. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye to the Bundestag there, and head back to the train station on to Leipzig. Leaving Berlin.